Welcome to Seville, the capital of Andalusia in southern Spain, and for me, one of Europe's most beautiful and exciting cities. I spent 4 days here in April and want to share my top 10 sites which definitely shouldn't be missed if you're thinking of visiting. They're in no particular order because I simply can't make up my mind which I love the most. Let's start with the Real Alcazar, the Royal Palace, because it's probably the image of Seville that most people are familiar with, especially if you're a Game of Thrones fan like me and want to see the place that became the Kingdom of Dawn. You'll need to book a time ticket well in advance of your trip, as it's Seville's most popular site. The palace may look Moorish, with many of its rooms built by Moorish workmen in the 14th century for a Christian king, Pedro I, after the Reconquest. His fascination for Moorish style led to an interesting aesthetic mixed with Christian symbolism, which is called mudahar. There are nearly 15 acres of gardens here, with palm trees, fountains, roses and beautiful tile benches. And it's very easy to spend 3 or 4 hours enjoying the palace and its grounds. It truly is like entering paradise. From the ancient to the modern, Las Setas de Sevilla, or the Mushrooms, was built in 2011 and it's thought to be the largest wooden structure in the world. I love the shapes it makes against the blue Sevillan sky, but I didn't make it up on my first attempt as it was 29 degrees Celsius when I arrived and there's no shade up there. But I made it up on my second attempt. At 22 meters high, it provides some of the best views of the city during the day, but if you want to see the light show, time your arrival for the evening. We're walking to the Guadalquivir River now, and the Triana district. I crossed the Puente de Isabel II and enjoyed the views before exploring the covered market. The colourful Triana neighbourhood is famous as the birthplace of many flamenco dancers and other artists and musicians, and is definitely worth exploring. And there are many restaurants on the waterfront with fabulous views of the 13th century Torre del Oro, or Tower of Gold. The highlight of any trip to Seville has to be the Plaza de Espana. And it's where you're most likely to see some fabulous flamenco. Designed for the Ibero-American Exposition of 1929, the Plaza de Espana comprises 2 towers and a semicircle of 52 benches and frescoes, which depict the Spanish provinces. The benches are absolutely gorgeous with their decorative tiles, and they're the perfect place to get those holiday snaps. The Plaza de Espana is actually inside the next attraction, the beautiful and tranquil Maria Luisa Park. It has some enormous fig trees, and although it was raining during my visit, I loved seeing this oasis inside the city. And I was lucky to see lots of horses and carriages taking part in an annual competition. Perhaps the most surprising discovery of mine in Seville was the Archives of the Indies. Housed in a 17th century building with a very grand staircase, this is home to the documents relating to the administration of the Spanish-American regions. It's free to enter and was very quiet when I went first thing in the morning. I particularly enjoyed the portraits. Is it my imagination, or does this gentleman bear an uncanny resemblance to Lord Flashheart from Blackadder? Another place full of beautiful portraits was the Museum of Fine Arts. This is a gorgeous retreat from the city if you need to find somewhere quiet, as I often do. Set in a former monastic building, it's less busy than a lot of Seville's attractions, and its shady courtyard gardens provide a wonderful haven. If you do visit, don't forget to look up at the ceilings, because they are just as beautiful as the art on the walls. The next place you really shouldn't miss is the Santa Cruz district, the former Jewish quarter. One of my favourite things about visiting a new city is exploring its streets, usually with no real direction in mind, and this area of Seville is perfect for that. I was staying here and loved the ornate buildings and lively restaurants. The Santa Cruz area is where you'll find Seville's cathedral. It's best to book a ticket for entry to avoid the queues. I booked one to include access to the Giralda Tower. It's 35 floors up, but it's a ramp rather than stairs, which originally allowed access by horse to the top. It can get crowded, but the views are fabulous. The cathedral is the largest Gothic cathedral in the world and certainly made me feel tiny. The star attraction is the tomb of the explorer Christopher Columbus. It has some exquisite detailing on the 4 pallbearers' costumes, like crowns, bats, and pomegranates. We're ending as we began with a fabulous Andalusian palace. But unlike the Real Alcazar, the Casa de las Duenas is privately owned, and you won't find it as crowded. Owned today by the House of Alba, it was built during the 15th and 16th centuries and is full of beautiful courtyards and stunning tile work, ceramics, paintings and furniture. It's had many famous visitors over the years, from Edward VII and Wallis Simpson to Cole Porter, Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier of Monaco. But it's very much a family home, and you'll see reminders of this in each room, with personal items such as framed family photographs and ornaments. This is a place where you drift easily from indoors to outdoors and back again, which makes everything feel very calm and dreamlike. Thank you so much for exploring Seville with me. What did you think of my top 10 picks? Did I leave anything out you would have included? Leave me a comment to let me know. I visited the city as a solo traveller, and if you'd like to know more about how I began solo travelling, do check out my book, Introvert Abroad. You can find a link in the description below.